that's where I'll be running my business. You can see my contact information right there, my logo. My business focuses on conserving the knowledge that my ancestors passed on to my people. Yeah. My slogan is giving people the warmth and comfort of the traditional clothes they used thousands of years ago. Here's another slide. Next slide. My mission statement is giving people the chance to have the traditional clothes that they had long time ago. Some responsibilities that I'm going to have to take are the responsibility to use the animal hide without wasting it, and putting up posters and ads so that it can advertise my business. Yeah. The organization of my venture. The products I will offer are beaded moccasins, hats, gloves, gauntlets, vests. Yeah. I will own my venture by sole proprietorship. I think working alone is best suited for me. Yeah. And I'll own and operate my own business. My SWOT analysis. My strengths would be experience with others, teaching me the knowledge that I need, and the methods that I need to use to create my product. Weaknesses would be illnesses, sickness, or problems at home or in the business. Opportunities that can be opened would be being the only business in my reserve or in town. My target market would be my competition would be other beadwork businesses. People would want to buy from me instead of other people because my products have better designs, new designs, colorful designs, and stuff like that. And it's also unique because my ancestors passed down the knowledge of these methods of creating the product. My market research is that I gathered the beadwork is that it can take a long time and it can be frustrating, but in the end it's worth it. I learned that beading, you have to be patient and persistent to be a beader because it can get frustrating and you can get mad at your beadwork. So yeah, you have to be patient. Here's my resources and production plan. Consumable resources would be beads, leather, animal hide, and thread. My fixed resources, human resources. My inventory and distribution. I'll keep track of of what I buy and where I buy it from by keeping a record book. And I will distribute my product to the public by getting my product to the customer, or the customer coming to get the product. Keeping track of sales, recording the sales would be essential for my business because it can help me predict future problems and stuff like that. Here's my, I totally forgot what this was called. I don't know. Yeah. So try. Uh, yeah. These are my market mix. My product is traditional clothes that my native people used to survive on a long time ago. My my customers would be able to access my product at my school or either at my business in my reserve. The prices of the commonly sold products or services would be probably $180 to $200 per unit, depending on what you're buying. Advertising my business would be easy because Facebook is a big part of our daily life now. So yeah, and I would also consider using Etsy for advertising my business and promoting higher sales. Here's my financial plan. It's just a summary of what my product costs, what it will cost to create my product. My goals, my short-term goals, my long-term goals, my personal goals. To pay loans, startup costs, earn small amounts of money, pay off loans, earn more profit, expand. My personal goals would be to make money and support my family. Here's the summary of my startup costs. It's pretty straightforward. Here's my monthly operating costs. Here's my yearly income prediction. My sales are 19,200. My total revenue. I don't know. I don't really want to discuss this. Here's my year one return on investment. My net income is $4,520. My startup cost would be $359. So my return on investment would be 13,570.3%. And that's just for the first year of the opening of my business. These are my cash flow projection. Here's my risk management strategy. Potential risks: slow business, customers don't like the product, another business emerges. And how to overcome them would be have a cash reserve to pay bills and keep the business operational. Advertise new methods of quality and make newer and innovative products. Innovate and invent new clothes pieces to overcome my competitors. Create new designs and stuff that'll attract more customers. And here's a chart of duties and stuff. Move on. Here's my code of conduct. Everyone will be treated with respect, and the things we use will be treated with respect. Everything will be treated with dignity. Everyone is equal. No one is greater or lower. This is my. This is what I'm gonna go by if my business succeeds. This is my website plan. My website would advertise my product, and we'll do a transaction from internet so that people people who from places where I can't reach will be able to access my product. My website will also advertise my community, so it will attract customers and boost my community's economy. My product has a great demand in Europe, and this could be a potential goal in the future. I've done research, asked around, and people commented that people in Europe have a high demand for native beadwork of North America. Websites like Latitude Imports, Co-UK specialize in importing North American native crafts to Europe. So that would be a thing I would use. And here's a little bit of history behind my product. My ancestors basically survived on moose, deer, beaver, muskrat, rabbit, fox, and other fur-bearing animals for food and clothing. They used everything they made. They didn't waste nothing. Everything on the animal was used. My late grandfather taught me how to hunt at a very young age. He took me on hunting trips to his traplands every summer and fall. My grandmother holds the knowledge to creating the new designs and to tan the hides and stuff like that. I'm hoping to learn this knowledge from her in the future as an advantage for my business success. Now here's a slide about my grandmother. My late great-grandmother used moose, deer, hides to make moccasins, mucklucks, mittens, and hats. She tanned the hides herself after each hunt my great-grandfather would bring. Other animals would be used as well. She would make her own dye from animals to make colorful designs. Beads were not available, so they used berries and plants for colorful designs. My grandmother passed on the knowledge needed to tan and prepare moose and deer hides. Her name is Meekis. She's almost 80 years old. Here's a slide on how I'm gonna advertise my product on Facebook and other resources that I can use. I can advertise my product on Facebook, announce on radio stations and stuff like that, post up pictures on Facebook so that people will see my product, have someone announce the selling of my product over the radio. Thank you.
So judges, do you have some questions?
Bonjour, Anine. Catherine Banning, Nindishtakaz. As a band member with Fort William First Nation, I'd like to welcome you to my traditional homeland.
Good.
Sorry, your story is very profound to me. My grandfather was a hunter too. When I was a child, I was afraid to go in his house because there was always dead animals hanging everywhere and there was hides stretched out everywhere. So you're really striking a chord with me. Some of the comments that I want to make more to the crowd and to you as well is the quality of the products. And when you're looking at your competition and the knockoffs that are out there, the pretend Aboriginal works and clothing that are out there that come from China and stuff like that, you really have to focus your marketing efforts on making sure that you elaborate on the quality. My first pair of mitts that my aunt made for me, I still wear. They are 36 years old. The only thing that's missing off of them is the rabbit fur. My mucklucks are about 35 years old, and I still wear them, and nothing's missing off of them. Your comment about the beadwork, it's definitely, you know, a lot of people think that the price of Aboriginal clothing is fairly expensive. You can't put a price on the stuff that you've been learning and the time it takes. The beadwork, myself, I learned how to do it. It gets worse when you get older and you need bifocals. It's really tedious, but I applaud you for embracing your culture, our culture. I hope you continue to do it. I did have a question, a business question, but I really did want to say miigwech for what you're doing. I want to say miigwech for the story that you told us about your grandparents and how you came to be. The question that I have that's business related then relates to the costs of your hide. You had a cost in your startup of $200. Does that include the harvesting of the hide, or do you pay a supplier $200 for that hide?
We usually pay the supplier, or we can go get it ourselves.
Okay, so that $200 that you had in your startup cost, was that to buy it off of a supplier?
Yeah.
Yeah? And out of that hide for $200, how many products can you make?
I would say about 4 pairs, 2 pairs, 4 to 2 pairs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Miigwech.
Any more questions?
Thank you so much. I mean, when I was reading through the business plans, yours just looks so different, and I was actually really excited to meet you. I myself bought a pair of moccasins years ago and absolutely loved them. I got them from Eagly Sheep Farm. I wore them for 5 years, the best investment I ever made. They were unfortunately stolen, but those moccasins, I still think about them all the time. I mean, it's cold up here, and I think I think you have a great skeleton to a good business. And I like that you relate it back to your community and wanting to help. Some of the comments I have, who else makes traditional outerwear? I mean, you don't necessarily have to answer the question now, but it's something you want to think about. Who's making the knockoffs? How do you differentiate yourself between the mass production, anybody can kind of get whatever they want, versus your custom work? I think in terms of keeping your advertising costs low, Etsy would be great. I would not do radio for you. If you do go radio, though, use your own voice. As a business person myself, I find that using your own voice on the radio, because it's you're the only one that has the passion for your own business. Having said that, I think your route would be best to go on YouTube. Make a video of yourself. You're tall, you're handsome, you're charming. I think if people see that you're the one harvesting, whether or not there's a short clip of you buying the material from your supplier, and then you making the boots or the moccasins or the gloves or whatnot, you doing the beading, and you putting that on YouTube, because when people like me are looking for the replacement mucklucks, I'm going to be searching, where can I buy mucklucks? And then I see this handsome guy come up on YouTube, and then I contact you, can you make me custom mucklucks? The next point I want to get to is I think you are undervaluing your work. As much as it's hard to put a price on artisan work, and I know my shop is just down the street from Victoriaville Mall, and which hosts Aboriginal artists. Every now and then I'll go into the mall and there'll be people selling mucklucks and whatnot. And I think their stuff is undervalued. How you price your things, take into account how many packages of beads it takes you. Like, for example, these moccasins here, how much would you sell these for?
Roughly 200, 180.
Okay, so $180. How long does it take you to do the beadwork?
4, 5 days, tops.
4 or 5, how many hours would you say?
A day.
A day, so can we say like 16 hours maybe total to make this?
Yeah.
So if you take $200 that you sell them for, that your upper end, you divide it by how many hours. It doesn't even equal minimum wage. Do you see where I'm getting at?
Yeah.
So you take all of your costs to make this, the money you take to make to do the hide, whether it's hours or dollar value, you give yourself what you think you're worth per hour, whether it's take a good look. Say you want $20 an hour for your work. $20 an hour plus all the cost that you take to make this, use that as your baseline cost. And I think you'll see a better return for your investment. You don't want to be pricing too low, because then you have me and all my friends knocking down your door trying to get inexpensive moccasins that are quality made. You want to price yourself high enough. Do you know what I mean? Like, take how many hours it takes to make these. And it'll come over time. Did you do this beadwork too?
Yeah.
This
I
is
made it,
and you
yeah.
made the vest? Okay. Do you do custom work if I call you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
If I send you a picture of something, you can... All right. That's all I
Sure.
have. You might have a sale, so we'll chat.
Thanks for coming so far to present to us your presentation. First question I have for you, on the labor, I think you had a cost of about $460. Is that your labor, or would that hire someone else?
That would be my labor. That would be,
You've already incorporated.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I know you said that your great-grandmother would teach you about the tanning, but do you need any equipment for that process, or are there any chemicals or anything?
No.
No? Okay, so you just, okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah, just bones. Yeah, yeah, bones. Yeah.
So you take the bones and what?
And you it's too gruesome.
And people who don't. And because you're at a good age to learn both languages almost, you can speak the traditional language of your people, and you could also relate to the technological people. If you put those together, I think it'll set you apart from the knockoffs from the other artisans. I think you can raise yourself up even a level by incorporating the use of video, because you're in a, where are you from anyway?
Sunny Lake First Nation.
Okay, so it's fairly remote.
Yeah.
But you can reach people through your video, and that's how you'll get the sales.
All right.
I think
That makes sense.
that she raised one really good point. I attend the I'm not sure if we want to call it like a market day that they have, or a market week that they have in Victoriaville,
Yeah.
but there's huge sales that go on in Victoriaville for the, so
Yeah, I've heard about
it's
that.
almost like a farmer's market, but for Aboriginal artisans. So you really have to make sure that you incorporate those into your business plan, because for you coming from Sandy Lake, you'll have extraordinary travel costs as opposed to someone coming from Fort William First Nation to do it. So you have to make sure that you factor those in and price yourself appropriately. And I think the real strength to me, from my own personal history with my clothing, with my traditional clothing, is you really have to stress the quality and the longevity of the product. The knockoffs will fall apart in weeks. The beads will come apart in weeks. It won't have the environmental impact that a traditional hunter like yourself or your family members, by using the whole product and the process of throwing the hides in the lake when it's really cold and letting them sit there so that it gets cleaned off and things like that. So I think you really have to make sure that you focus a lot of that on the true traditionality of your product and the quality that it's going to bring.
Okay, thank you.
All right, that was our last presenter. So we're going to take a short break to allow the judges to deliberate, and we'll get back to you shortly.